Hi everyone, it's Filip Karinja here from Small Caps, welcoming you to our very first interview. Today we are speaking with Michael Schwarz from Northern Cobalt. He's the Managing Director there. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Now to kick things off, I want to ask you, why battery metals for Northern Cobalt, and can you help define what a battery metal is for our audience?
Thanks, Philip, and I'm very pleased to be a part of Small Cap's first telephone Q&A session. Well, there are many types of batteries and a list as long as your arm of metals and commodities that can be used in a battery. I think the contemporary use should probably be qualified as new technology battery metals. At N27, we believe that the renewable energy sector, such as electric vehicles and mobile technology, that they're growth industries for the future, and to keep developing it at full throttle, they need a steady supply of new technology battery metals. At N27, we believe that the renewable energy sector, electric vehicles and mobile technology, that they're all growth industries for the future. And to keep developing at full throttle, they need a steady supply of new technology battery metals. We see the short, medium and long-term demand drivers outstripping supply, especially on cobalt and probably to a lesser extent lithium, and some rare earths such as dysprosium, because of its use in magnets for electric motors.
Thanks for that, Mike. So is it fair to say that at Northern Cobalt you're focusing on the components with the shortest supply and with the fewest existing worldwide resources, the top of the list being cobalt and lesser extent lithium?
Yeah, cobalt is our primary focus, and our view is that cobalt is that the price has nowhere to go but up. This is mainly due to cobalt's superior physical properties as a cathode in existing battery types. And while there are large resources of lithium in South America, even the production ramping up on the large brine deposits, we see demand over the medium to long term as very strong. This is primarily due to the sheer amount of new material that will be required.
And what are the more traditional battery metals that are used in the petrol vehicles, like the lead, zinc, acid battery? Is that on Northern Cobalt's radar as well?
Thanks, Philip. These will not be phased out overnight, but they are in decline in the use of batteries. More widely, another battery metal, nickel, that's traditionally used in steel and in the construction industry and also in shipbuilding. Nickel-rich cathodes, they're currently physically inferior as a battery cathode to cobalt-rich cathodes. Nickel, it's suitable if the performance, size and weight is not as important in a battery. But to answer your question, lead and zinc are not on Northern Cobalt's shopping list.
And Mike, you mentioned nickel there. We've seen the nickel price rebound in recent times, and there's talk of its use in the battery cathodes. And we've seen stocks like Mincor up over the past 12 months. So is nickel on the shopping list for Northern Cobalt?
Well, Philip, you're right that the nickel price has bounced, but it's off a very low base with plenty of mines in care and maintenance, Mincor being a case in point. As these mines get back in production and other known resources head towards development, we don't see nickel being in short supply anymore. The battery industry is not the dominant driver of nickel demand, as we discussed earlier, so while it's important in batteries, there is sufficient world resources to find, and for that reason, it's not on Northern Cobalt's shopping list.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that, Mike. Now, getting on to some more company-specific news, today you've released the final drilling results from the Wollogorang Cobalt Project in the Northern Territory. Can you tell us a little bit how that went? And are you pleased with the operations?
Yeah, we definitely are. We said in our investor presentations that during the IPO process that we would get out there and get drilling quickly, and we did that in just over a week from listing. The geology team, in only 8 weeks, has managed to get over 12,000 metres, 127 RC drill holes and 10 diamond hole cores drilled. And that's a pretty phenomenal effort. We also flew a detailed helicopter magnetic and radiometric survey, and that's given us a great angle of attack for the 2018 exploration program and a lot better geological insight to the best way to progress the Wollogorang Cobalt Project in the coming months.
Okay, and with the results, let's first hear, was there anything you were disappointed with or something that was unexpected?
In general, we were pleased with the whole program overall, so it's hard to be disappointed. There were some null results, and they're expected in any exploration, and a couple of regional targets didn't reveal that much, but there were others that gave us plenty of encouraging results, and follow-up drilling is planned for that in 2018. So, yes, it would have been nice to have had one of the regional targets that we drilled in the to do it in the centre of another Stanton-like target, but we're encouraged by what we've seen in our regional drilling, and potentially we have drilled on the edge of our next Stanton. So I guess it's watch this space in 2018. There are plenty more great targets to test.
So does that mean some of the regional targets need to be reassessed?
Well, we do constantly look to refine our exploration targeting, and any new means that we have of an opportunity to learn about the geology, improve our targeting, and reassess existing targets given any new information. The new geophysics data that we've acquired, that has given us a new layer of information to improve targeting, and we believe it has further identified targets that are under very shallow cover. So I guess, yes, we've put all the targets under review and look to have more than we previously thought.
Okay, great. And was there anything that went better than expected with the exploration campaign?
Well, Philip, we had a bit of a bonus when we infilled the historic Stanton Cobalt resource on 20-metre centres. Drilling was unable to close off mineralisation, and it's currently open both to the northwest and to the southeast, so that was better than expected. Looking at the new magnetic data that we've acquired, it's looking promising for the next round of drilling in these areas. There are some signatures that look very much like where we've got mineralisation in areas in those directions that we haven't drilled yet. So we're looking forward to targeting those areas. The other bonus we had was that there were quite a few significant drill intersections which occurred outside of the existing resource shell. So that bodes well for increasing the resource that we've got there. And while I can't comment on the size of the resources, the calculations aren't complete, and they are currently being undertaken by an independent external party, it does seem to be a good sign.
And when can we expect to see the new resource calculation?
Yeah, we are hoping to get a new resource calculation by early March now that the final results are in. We will be undertaking a second calculation once the results of the diamond core drilling are in and have been assayed and the metallurgical work is complete. It's possible at this stage we'll be able to announce an indicated resource.
Okay, great. I'm sure the market's looking forward to seeing that. And can you give us an idea of how the scoping study is progressing?
The drill core has been logged and geotech samples have been taken. The core is currently being cut for assay, and we expect results from that in mid to late March. Once this is complete and we've got the data, we'll be able to commence metallurgical testing, and this is a very important part of the scoping study program.
Okay, and when do you expect to be drilling back at the Wollogorang Cobalt Project?
It's hard to say because of the end of the wet season is always hard to predict, but we do hope that sometime in April we'll be able to get a very light six-wheel drive Toyota-mounted rig in on the ground, and that'll start the initial testing. And then in May, it should have dried out enough that we should be able to get our heavier RC drilling rigs in as required.
Okay, Mike, and just before we wrap this up, are there any final comments you'd like to leave us with?
Oh yeah, thanks, Philip. The Stanton Cobalt deposit is only the beginning of the Wollogorang Cobalt Project in the Northern Territory for our company, Northern Cobalt. As our geology team begins to unlock the exploration potential of the Gold Creek volcanics, we see the potential for multiple examples of cobalt mineralisation in this region. And we also have a conviction from the geology team to go after it in 2018.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you updating us on everything Northern Cobalt, and we look forward to tracking your progress throughout the year. And thank you to everyone listening at home or in your cars or wherever you may be. Make sure you click the subscribe button below because we've got plenty more interviews and other content coming your way. In the meantime, you can visit smallcaps.com.au to get all the latest news. Speak with you soon. Bye.